So today, let's do a nice little letting go flow. So you might have something that you would like to let go of. Maybe you think you don't want to let go of it, but maybe you really do. Like a grudge or a guilt, something that we know is unhelpful for our mindset, but we just, we want to hold on to it like that burning coal. But you don't need to. So let's just start to maybe get around the edges of letting go with this physical yoga class, but we'll set our intention to get rid of something, to make space for something better in our lives. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's start today in a standing forward fold. You can be at the top of your mat if you like. Your legs can be wide or maybe hip distance. We're just going to take an exhale to slowly round the spine, drop the head as we make our way into that forward fold. So let your head just be really heavy. Let your arms start out just heavy. You might like to sway a little bit if that feels good, or bend the knees a little bit or a lot. We are trying to get the sitting bones to face the ceiling or the sky as the crown of the head just relaxes down towards the earth. So let's start by breathing deeply. Feel the feet rooting into the earth. Take a big inhale. And exhale, sigh it out. The intention is to let go today. One more big inhale. And exhale, sigh it out. All right. So let's take a couple more breaths here. You might like to start grabbing your elbows and getting a little sway. Maybe you bend one knee and then the other. And then we'll just drop the hands, bring your feet about hip distance apart if they are not already. And let's bend the knees a little bit more deeply so the belly comes in contact with the thighs. And we'll very slowly start to roll up if it's okay for the spine. So if not, just come up with a flat back. The shoulders eventually roll back, the head comes up, and maybe you want to inhale, reaching the arms up. You might get a little back bend. And exhale, bring the hands to heart center, sealing in your intention. All right, so you can step the feet a little bit wider than hip distance now, and we're just going to start with a little bit of flopping around with the arms. So letting your arms sway side to side. Maybe you're going to lift one heel off the mat as your arms go one direction, the other. Letting go. And then we'll just come back to center, and we're going to get right into a little bit of a balancing pose, our tree pose, Vrikshasana. So start to root into the four corners of your left foot. And we'll take the right foot to maybe the thigh or the shin, pointing the knee out to the side, maybe. And let's take the arms to a cactus pose, our goddess arms. So squeeze the shoulder blades together. Think of lifting up out of the hips. Think of drawing the left thigh in towards the right foot. And we'll just get a couple more breaths here. Feeling supported, feeling rooted into the earth, supported by the earth. And then we'll just take the arms down. Maybe you can take the right knee forward. And exhale, step it down. All right, you can shake out the left ankle if you need to. And then we'll root into the four corners of the right foot. So inner and outer heel, ball of the foot at the pinky toe side. All right, so we're trying not to let that right hip jut out to the right. And then we'll take the left toes. Maybe the toes stay on the ground today. Who knows? Who cares? It is your practice. And then we think of engaging the bandhas, so the pelvic floor lift, the lower belly, gently drawing in and up. And then again, if it works for you and your arms today, we'll take it into our goddess arms. Maybe your elbows can be in line with the shoulders. Breathing deeply. We got about one more breath. And then we'll assist the knee to come forward and then lower the foot down, and maybe you're going to shake out the right ankle. All right, so then we'll just come back to Samastiti with the hands to heart center at the top of the mat. Let's take a big inhale to reach the arms up. You might gaze up and back. And exhale, lead with the heart as you swan dive down. Inhale, halfway to lift. And exhale, let's just step the left knee down and back. So you're going to take the right toes and bring them over to the right a little bit as you might drop onto the outer edge of your right foot. So right foot is at about a 45-degree angle. And you're just going to open the right hip. You might use your right hand to press the thigh open. So your heart is going to start to open towards the right. You could drop the head back, or just maybe your left ear is going to drop towards the earth. You might feel it a little bit in the back of the right hip. As they say, we hold our issues in our tissues, the big muscles. So let's go ahead and get in there. And then if you like, we can get the left thigh involved too by bending the left knee. Maybe you're going to reach the left foot with the right hand. Maybe you're going to grab your pant leg or a sock, who knows. And really let the hips gently drop forward and down. Exhale, let's release the foot. We'll walk the right toes forward. And then you can do this with your back knee up or down. We're just going to start to straighten out the right knee. Flex the foot, lengthen the nose towards the toes. And then if you like, you can take the back knee off the mat as well for a modified pyramid pose. We do want to try to draw the shoulders away from the ears, though, in either version today. Staying very long through the spine. All right, on an exhale, let's just rebend the front knee. I'm going to step forward into that forward fold. Inhale halfway, just to lengthen the spine, and exhale, sits bones come towards the sky as you relax in. So now for this version, you can just let your ears drop down. Your shoulders drop down towards the ears. Inhale, let's come up halfway, and now we'll exhale to step the right knee down and back. Turning the left toes to the left foot comes a bit more towards the left edge of the mat. And we're sinking the hips, again, forward and down, and you can start to drop onto the outer edge of the left foot. Again, go ahead and get into the neck. Maybe you're holding some tension there that we don't need today. As we have that idea of maybe forgiving ourselves, letting go of guilt, maybe forgiving others because we and others may have not always been acting our best. As some might say, even in our own karmic best interest. All right, and then if you want to add the back knee, just an option, you might grab the right foot with the left hand. We are all just doing the best we can on any given day. Maybe some days are harder than others. That's okay. That's just being alive, right? And then you can release the foot, release the toes forward, and once again we're going to step forward into that, oops, no, we're going to straighten out the front knee. So you can flex through the foot, and maybe you're going to lift off the back knee as well as an option. And again, the shoulders come down the back towards the hips. And on an exhale, now we're going to step back into that forward fold. Take an inhale to lift halfway. And this time on an exhale, we'll fold in. And then we're just going to step back to our hands and knees, to our table pose. Let's go ahead and take some marauding bear while we're here. So you can start to maybe make some big circles with the hips and the neck, or maybe you're going to kind of go side to side, bending the elbows, really just exploring the body, trying to notice any areas of tension that we can let go of a little bit. And you might also like to go back and forth to get into the wrists. Maybe you will turn the fingers out and go side to side a little bit. And let's take our next couple breaths to get into the back of the hands. So if your wrists are tender, you might not have the back of the hands all the way down, or you can do kind of one at a time, like you're pedaling out the hands. And if you need to feel more, then just think your hips back towards the heels. Okay. And then let's take a moment to stand on the knees if that's all right for you. And we're just going to shake out the wrists a little bit. All right, we're just going to take a little baby camel pose while we're here. So you can bring the hands to the lower back with your fingers pointing down. And let's inhale to stand tall from the knees to the crown of the head. And on an exhale, you might start to drop the head back. We're trying to lift through the heart and keep the hips over the knees. So you might almost feel like you're pressing your hips forward a little bit. Try to drop the shoulders. Try to squeeze the shoulder blades for your next breath. And one more breath to lift the heart up. And then let's take an inhale to bring the chin back towards the chest. We'll come back to a neutral spine, relax the arms down. Let's take a whole breath here. And we'll do a modified child's pose. So you can leave the toes curled under if you like, and just bring the hands, back of the hands to the mat as you bring your forehead down. So this is just to release the lower back, just let the shoulders be heavy and soft. You might feel your third eye area pressing into the mat, the symbol of our insight. And then let's come back up into a table pose. And we're going to get a little twist, releasing the shoulder blade area, should you have tension there. So bring your left hand underneath the face. You can kick your left knee out to the left a little bit. Do keep drawing the lower belly in, and we'll take a big inhale to reach the right arm up. You might gaze up. And exhale, let's thread the needle. So bring the right hand behind the left, coming all the way down onto the right shoulder blade.
You could reach the left arm out in front of you, or you might like to take it behind the back. And then if you can reach your thigh, you might gently use that effort to open the left shoulder as well. And you can shift your hips if you need to find those tight areas in the back of the right shoulder blade, should you have them. Releasing like you're releasing all your tension down into the earth. Where it can be transformed into a better energy. And let's exhale, release your left hand under the left shoulder. And we'll take that inhale to reach up with the right arm. And maybe you want to move it around, do some circles, whatever shapes, triangles, I don't know. And then we'll return to our table pose, straightening out the knees under the hips and the wrists under the shoulders. And then we'll take the right hand under the face, fingers spread wide, right knee kicks to the right a little bit. And we'll take that inhale to lift up with the left arm. Your gaze can follow. And exhale, here we go, threading the needle onto the left shoulder blade area. Again, maybe your right arm's going to reach out in front of you. You might just be on your right fingertips. That'll stretch out maybe a little bit more the right side body. Or, again, you can take your right hand behind you. Maybe you're going to tuck those fingers and adjust where you want your weight, where you want the hips. And we'll release the right hand back under the right shoulder. And inhale. Once again, we'll reach it back up. And you can move around with the left arm. And then exhale, we'll bring the hand down, cross the ankles. You can sit back over your feet or however you need to. And let's take the soles of the feet forward. And together. So our Baddha Konasana, so the feet might be close to your body, they might be far apart from your body. If you don't feel enough, you can always take a block underneath both feet, and that will help you to feel a little something. All right, so make sure once again you're on your sits bones. We'll take our inhale to sit very tall. And this time, as you exhale, we'll start to lengthen. You might be gently pressing your elbows into the thighs, gently being aware of the knees. And then you could start to give yourself a little bit of a foot massage here. And eventually we're going to get a little bit of a rounding of the spine. So not feeling ripping, pulling, shooting pain in the lower back or the upper back. Just if it works for your spine, we'll gently relax down. So you can have your chin maybe a little bit tucked towards the chest. Giving the feet a little love, a little attention. And then if you like, you can reach your arms forward. And continue to relax in here. Let's do a few more breaths to really release. You might have your palms down. Having that idea of feeling supported by the earth. Press your hands down and we'll slowly walk the hands back towards you. And let's make our way onto the mat. So you can bring your knees together And you might hold behind the thighs as you roll back. And you might like to take some circles with the knees. And then let's bring the hands with the palms down underneath the hips, underneath the sacrum area, and we'll just extend the legs up. So try to relax your shoulders while you're here. We're just going to have the idea of changing our perspective a little bit. That might help you to release. Maybe taking another person's perspective, an outsider's perspective. Releasing the jaw. Relaxing through the corners of the eyes. And unfurling any furls in the forehead. And let's bend the knees, taking the feet down about hip distance. We'll take an inhale to lift the right leg up, and exhale your right outer foot to the top of the left thigh. So you might already feel a little something. You can stay here. You could gently press your right knee towards the front, what is now the front of your mat. You might grab behind the left thigh, picking up the left foot, or you could grab the front of the left shin if you need to. But you do want to keep pressing the right knee forward, and you can flex the right foot if that makes you feel more supported. For our reclined pigeon, again, getting into the right hip. And then let's bring the left foot back down if you took it up. We're just going to cross the right knee over the left while you're here, and then shift the hips over to the right a little bit. Now let's take it into a twist. So left hand can come to the outside of the right thigh as you drop the knees to the left, and you might gaze to the right. You can always cactus the right arm if that feels a little bit more comfortable for the shoulder blade. We're trying to gently relax the right shoulder blade towards the earth. That symbol of twisting out, of course, twisting out what we don't need today. Not vigorously, but just gently. And let's inhale, the knees back to center, the gaze back to center. We'll straighten out the hips as we unwind. All right, so feet are again hip distance apart, and we'll just take the other side. So inhale your left leg up, and exhale the ankle to the top of the right. So all the same things. You might have an issue on one side of the joints. Make sure they're safe. Again, you could flex the left foot. You can grab behind the right thigh or maybe the front of the right shin. So we're basically just gently pulling your left shin towards the chest as you press the left knee away from you, away from your torso. And exhale, bring the right foot down and go ahead and cross your left knee over the right if that's comfortable. And we'll bring both hips to the left as you drop the knees to the right. And again, you might peek to the left, trying to shimmy the shoulder blades flat or flat-ish towards the mat. And let's inhale, bring the legs and gaze back to center. Once again, straighten out the hips and unwind. So let's take a little bit of a reclined Baddha Konasana, Supta Baddha Konasana. So if that works for your hips, you can bring the soles of the feet together. They don't have to be close to you. You can always support yourself with blocks underneath the thighs if you like. And you might like to bring your left hand to your belly, right hand to your heart, or maybe both are on your heart, both are on your belly. Taking a moment of like true self-care. And then you can feel free to stay here or segue right into more of a traditional Shavasana with your legs out and palms up. Releasing the jaw, the face, the belly. Your entire body melts into the earth. And then let's start to bring a little attention back to the body and back to the breath. Making your swell movements with the fingers of the toes and the wrists and ankles. And you can feel free to take your full body stretch as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, we'll hug it in. And you might like to roll onto your favorite side for a moment in a little bit of a fetal position. Thanking yourself for putting in these efforts today. And then with that sense of gratitude, let's press ourselves up to a comfortable seat. And if you like, you can take your hands together at the heart center, sealing in your intention, having faith that you can let go, and thanking yourself for these efforts that you made today. And I thank you for joining me in this practice today. The divine joy and light in me honors, reflects, and bows to the same divine joy and light that dwells in you. Namaste. And if you want more of a meditation, grounding meditation, check this one out. I think it'll be right here. And hopefully we'll practice again together soon.